Well, who we got in the chat here? Lisa Smith, good morning to you. Sigma Rodan, good morning to everybody. It's a Sunday. Wanted to see if we could get some of our European and other folks on the chat, because usually I do it and it's typically a long, well, they're always asleep. So, and it is what it is. So why are men going their own way? Why are men going their own way? What do you think? Well, could it be what we've seen in the last 30, 40 years? Could it mean that I think the biggest reason is, number one, the guys are just walking away to realize, hey, there's nothing here for me. I can't compete with her and her phone. I can't compete with the attention she seeks. And I'm going to do my own thing. Or he's gone through a breakup, or he's gone through a divorce, or he's seen people get divorced, and he's realizing the quality of women and men is just not the greatest out there anymore. And so the guy that is wise, instead of running back into a relationship, decides, hey, I'm going to put myself first and move forward. And hence they find men going their own way. Cesar is in the chat. Jerron Markel, back in town from Brooklyn. Gerald Montagna is in as well. Good to see you. What does Jerron say? Men are choosing to go their own way because one party has a safety net and the other one doesn't. Safety net for 300 Trebek. Absolutely. I got an email from a listener, and he mentioned that he really liked a gal, went and helped her, wasn't even married, helped her with her studies. He had to basically co-sign for her to go to a country and then to study. And he paid the rent, he paid everything. He sounds like he's probably in his 30s to a gal. And she, after he had done everything, she basically broke up with him and didn't have feelings anymore. And he says, Rad, what do I do? And I said, well, you learn from it and you don't get back in the same situation again. But I thought she loved me. Well, she loved certain parts of you, which were what was in your wallet. Lisa Smith, men go their own way because they're smart and want to avoid the dumb shizzle women do. Well said, Lisa. The system dating and females are against men. It's even getting scarier out there with the litigation as well. You have to be very, very careful. Very careful. John Davies from England. Salute to our brethren in England. And it's happening in England too, across the pond. Who would believe? But Rad, there are little pockets of the world where the unicorn, the wonderful women occur and live. Well, I think there's women that are great in all areas of the world, but the internet is everywhere. If there is internet, you can't do anything except, the internet is an infiltrated both the male and the female mind. We know their games, they know our games, and they seek attention through all their different apps. And so, there's a lot of dudes that do it as well. So if there's internet, there is female nature and male nature. Phil D says, tired of women's betrayal after they fake being loyal at first and leave you. Well, that's another, and I was talking Phil and everyone. Hemi's back in. Good to see everybody. Hemi, David Castro. What happens when you give your meat, money, attention, energy, and time to, I see it all the time. When you give them everything they want, they get bored, they've moved on, they receive the prize. And a man's just like, hey, I'm just getting started. I'm showing you my actions of love. I'm showing you that I like you. I'm getting you gifts and vacations. And that right there has been the detriment to most men in relationships, because they believe, from a logic standpoint, the more he gives and the more action he bestows, the more he's going to get love in return. Well, that might have been the case 100 years ago. Not anymore. Just don't do it. Work on yourself. Be the best version. If a woman pops in your life, and so be it. She better be a 1% to 2%er. David Castro back. Jerome says females are protected by the system, the POPO, the HR, the state, and the government. Can't tell you how many times in my line of work the HR gets involved, and if there's an issue with the man and woman, the woman always has no issues. Well, then again, most HR departments are run by ladies, and they're mostly Karens. At church today, I made a point of not looking in any woman's direction, not responding to any woman who tries to converse with me, and not initiating a conversation with any woman. And how did that make you feel, brother? You're working on yourself. You're not there to look at women. You're there to hear a message. Females do not love you. They are not your friends. They just want gullible males to come back to the plantation. Well said, brother. Eddie A is back. Good to have Eddie. Chris Mitchell's in the house. Chris, how are you? It really drives them crazy not to get validated. They may have no interest in you whatsoever, but they still want that you desire them. Validation. They live for validation for 300 Trebek. Yeah, validation and attention and drama, all rolled up in a nice little package, right? Coffee Rock says, happy Sunday, been in the lake alone. Why? Look around what's happening. Women today are the same. I spend my resources on me. I give jobs also, but when it comes to women, we know already what's going on. I know there's no secret. I get it all the time. But Rad, she's different. Okay. Okay. And then 2 weeks, 4 weeks, 6 weeks later, it's the same story. She moved on. She doesn't have feelings for me. I tried to show her my love. Don't try to show her anything except your personality. Any woman, any male that has a girlfriend or wife, here's a question. Was she a virgin before you met her? Ooh, that's a stinging question, isn't it, John? Yeah, most women have been nailed. Not once, not twice, but a lot of times. I've outgrown fantasies that there's a unicorn out there. 'Twas blind, but now I see. Well, I think we realize in the end, especially when you get older, the younger guys, they're really struggling because they're competing with women that literally live on OnlyFans. They've been living in the metaverse for so long. Anything on the external in this world cannot maintain their attention. But yeah, there's no secret anymore, guys, as Gerald says. No hymen, no diamond. That would be a great bumper sticker. E's back in the house. Good to see you, brother. Hope you're well. Hello, Rad. We are going our own way because it's too risky to be in our relationship. Potential risks of losing our health, money, kids, and dignity. It is risky. You're absolutely right, Pablo. Good to have you, brother. Speaking of Karens, where were they with that whole blank Transformer swimming thing? I don't want to say the name. Could be flagged. Where were they? Again, attention is this. So man becomes lady, is legally a lady, deemed by the state, and now can't compete with other ladies because biologically has the chromosomes of a male. Where is the discrimination there from the left? That would, to me, be a discriminatory offense. But this is what they wanted. Barely conscious at the moment. Chris Mitchell. Get some coffee, brother. Even on my worst day, no woman is worth my peace, quiet, and freedom. Ghost MGTOW. Well, Greg Adams said something very interesting. He said, guys really get into women and then they, lay down with them on a horizontal piece of furniture. And then when they're done, they have that post-nut clarity and they realize things they made up in their mind are not the true reality after. And so blankety blank, 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 and they want peace, quiet, and freedom. Just be careful out there, gents. Coffee injection required. CIR. Mr. Hemi, grocery shopping, but wouldn't miss a rad stream for the world. Well, I always appreciate you guys being here. Let me know if I wrenched you. Big M says, I'll probably be monk forever because I fear entanglements and hate high body counts. Well, a lot of women today have high body counts. It's just a reality we live in. Samantha P. No, I had 2 LTRs before my husband. Got a ring from both. Not perfect, but hey. So that would be your 3rd solid relationship was the man you married. That's great. That doesn't happen very often. My youngest sister, married the first boyfriend and the first guy she ever kissed. And they're still married with 4 kids. She's, how old is she? 6 years younger than me. Married the first guy she kissed and her first boyfriend ever in college. Interesting, huh? Adele says, salute guys, glad I could catch a stream on my day off. Don't marry these straggle daggles. Most women aren't wife material today. And I think that's right. I mean, when it comes down to it, the classy, feminine women that have class are very, very hard to find. And I think the internet and technology and the hive mind and the TV shows and how they have put the Kardashians on this level that you have to go look like and be like them. I mean, how many times has she been run through? 4 times now? 4 marriages? So you're right. They're not wife material today. But how many, let's go like this. There are guys that aren't husband material. There are wimpy dudes. There are feminine men. There are scared men out there based on potentially growing up without a father, not having direction and routine. In other words, spending 24 hours a day on the computer. They have the testosterone of a 60-year-old at 20 years old. And so we have to be examples to men out there and young men and quasi-fathers to say, you know what, you're off track, get back on track. This is what men do. At the end of the day, you can't, biology is biology. Most men struggle today because they know underneath all of their flesh, there's a biology that says they need to be a provider and a protector, but society has programmed them different. Society has actually programmed them to fear women. We understand women. Let's see what I just said. Any males who are single and alone, says Geron, you are in the most fantastic position ever. Keep them at an arm's distance. You have so much freedom when you understand the fantasy is not the reality. I married a virgin, had 3 kids. She committed adultery and divorced me. Thanks, MySpace and Facebook. Well, I married a gal. I knew she wasn't a virgin. She had a boyfriend. This was in the 90s. She divorced me too. Similar deals. Men can't be happy, but the female can. In fact, her happiness is to make you miserable. Yeah, being a happy man really bothers a lot of gals. Big M, we left high body counts in the early 2000s. Now the body counts are in outer space. Hey, that's the truth. I mean, if you think about it, I can't who brought it up. Most of these gals have had so many partners, and then comes the possibility that they can't pair bond. Pair bonding means that they connect to a man. The more partners, the less they can pair bond. And if anybody knows the number, it is. And then you get into the microchimerism and all that jazz. This is where feminism works against the small, rare females who want family or kids. There's no wife material anymore. We have a couple gals in the chat that would be good women to start families with. but they're rare. And, even the good women are susceptible to technology and to programming. My son's mom couldn't escape poor upbringing and addiction and demons, Slam Cave says. Yes, and I feel bad about your son having to go through life without her. But I'm glad you're there to keep him on course, Slam, and you're doing everything possible. Matt Downer back in the house, coming down the mountain. Yesterday I hiked up 2.4 miles up to the Sulphur Springs, the hot pots, and came down. It was such a great day. So get out and do stuff. Teddy Boy Smith from the UK. It's Mother's Day here in the UK. Another scam run by the elites to fleece you of dollars. There you go. Go woke, get broke. Broken heart. I choose my own way because jewelers are going out of business. Yeah, the jewelry shop is going the way of the VHS cassette. Males have become weak due to being raised by a single mother who kicked the father out of the home to collect a check. That's how you dominate a country, take away masculinity. And I just don't understand why. I mean, they got to know, even these courts, but it's all the Duluth model, and it's the narrative. The CBF, 304s hate bachelors. Good to have you, brother. Coffee Rock, when I was in a relationship, I have no money, and then I choose to be single, and I've got resources now, and I'm building a 3-story house in the Philippines. Good for you, brother. And I know a lot of Philippine women, they seem apparently to be very into their men, but apparently not. Most females have forfeited their protection from me. My protection is toxic now, so it'll never help any females. Well, when you get and realize it, you just said, you know what, I'm going to help myself. Dax back in the house. Good to see you, brother. Probably on the lake fishing, ice fishing. How to do equality training at work. It was all about how women and their ethnic minorities are downtrodden. No examples of men being treated in the workplace. I remember those doggone things. They drive me nuts. Kenta and Wilson back in the house. Rebel against mother effing defeat. Damn right, Kenta. Good to have you. What still gets me today is how much a woman will do or not do to avoid admitting she's wrong. It's fascinating. Well, I think it goes back to childhood, and I still got to do my stream on where I believe why women are the way that women are today. And I think it's biology back to the earliest man and women. I'll have to wrench you later, Jerron. I don't think I can do it right now. I have to go back in. But I'll make sure I do that. X-Free Geox, liberalism is a cancer on society. Liberalism is a mental disorder for 300 Trebek. Good to have you, X-Free. Lisa Smith, I'm definitely old school. Modern women can't wrap their heads around stability with one man. Till death do you part means nothing to them. And not anymore, it doesn't. Even the Christian women. A lot of divorces within the Christian religion. Samantha says if she is looking for fancy jewelry, she isn't worth squat. I still have a $12 ring we bought when we were young and broke. It's sentimental. Well, you're in it for the right reasons. Simple as that. You're in it for the right reasons. You believe the connection is more important than the ring around your finger. I hear all the time these women that get married or get engaged, they run to the jeweler to see how much their ring is. And if it doesn't hit a certain threshold, they go nuts. Yeah, they didn't have rings, hundreds and hundreds of you. They couldn't afford rings. They could only afford a plate of food and rice in front of you. But De Beers turned it into a wonderful way to scam and fleece men. Who says it's like 4 months of your salary to buy a ring? So if you make $100,000, that's $8,000 a month. That's you're going to spend $32,000 on a goddamn ring, piece of metal. Just take the bearings out of a skateboard. Take the skateboard bearings, take the bearings out, and you'll have a ring right there you can put over your finger. I am from India. Respect your work. Why Western women media, including CNN, promote feminism too much? Gaurav, good to have you. And from India. It's just the narrative we have lived in. It's the programming for so long. It really is. That's why our world is falling to pieces. Females are the way they are because they have no accountabilities. Well, it goes back to deflect and blame, right? Liberalism is mental illness, hence is why 50% have a diagnosed medical condition. At least many of those are on some type of. It is astonishing how many women are on head meds. My daughter is taking head meds at an early age because a lot of women believe that they can do that. I mean, the attention, energy, and time that they seek that they can't get makes them delusional and angry and sad. And that's why they self-medicate with box wine and they get cats and they put themselves on head meds and they become Karens. Red flag if she cares more about the wedding than the actual marriage. 100%, Phil, 100%. Couldn't have said it better. I wonder how many are undiagnosed. That's the real question, Samantha. Good for you bringing that up. Rad gave me the best advice. Never argue with the woman. No. It's a feminine trait and you've already lost. If you're even in an argument, most women believe till I'm unhappy to do this part. I think it's really hard, Eddie, to maintain happiness. You can't make anyone happy. And I think a lot of women expect men to make them happy. Potentially, Teddy Boy Smith. Potentially. All females get married for what? Security, not love, not to grow old, and not for the dumb Disney fantasy. It's the idea of attention. It's being on a pedestal for so many friends and family to see. Being the bride, it's also programmed. They've seen movies about it, romantic comedies. Women are great manipulators. Men just have to be one step in front of them. Yep, rising strength is back. John Davies, you're absolutely right. And it's not hating, it's just understanding. Hey, if I put my energy, money, resources, and time into a woman that I find is attractive, that gives me certain choosing signals or likes me, how long will that last? What do I get out of it? You have to be real about these things. Adele says, my next door neighbor is a church-going conservative woman. And she has a tatted up Chad stay with her a week at a time, once a month, out of state, burying her head in the pillow. Oh, how common that is, Adele. Oh, how common. Girl, good to have you, brother. Girl I work with, she a Trey. To women, liberalism is like a drug. Well, it's an emotional response. That's what it is. Seems sunny morning in Utah, good sun through the window. It is. It's going to be 70-something degrees today. Loving it. Media sells women the BS idea of equality, so they have unrealistic expectations for themselves and men. Couldn't have said it better, Ghost MGTOW. Instant dealer breakers, being on head meds and having tattoos in the hand. On the hands and fingers. Slam Cave, you're absolutely right. Or neck. Rad head meds are like a badge of honor to them now. Oh yeah, it's out in the open. I think Dak did something about that. A couple videos of a gal just admitting what she's on. In my church, there are a lot of older women who are married, but their husbands never set foot in church. What does that tell you? Their priority in life was to marry for security. You'll never win dating and cohabiting with a female. You're absolutely right that there's the 1% to 2% that work, and it's very rare that it does. My husband would have my stuff packed on the curb by the end of the weekend if I wasn't earning. Not even an option. Well, I think there's a respect you both have for each other. Very rare today, Samantha. Teddy Boy Smith, girl I work with is all over me one week that acts like I don't exist. Well, she seeks attention. Don't give it to her. Any female who says they're happy, they are lying. You can give a female everything she wants. The hag still ain't happy. So therefore, I mean, it comes down to it. If you know what you're getting into, shame on you in the end. Because you knew and you let the fantasy run your life. Women want to be brides, not wives, says Hemi. Absolutely, brother. Box wine and cats for 300 Trebek. Well said. I don't think I've met a married woman who's really into her husband. Most guys that are married, they become basically another son to the husband. I've seen so many women run over the men. They don't respect them. They don't take any consideration. Most of these guys don't even talk around their wives because they can't. They've literally had their wieners put in a jar and set on top of the fridge, and they have to ask for it back. She wants validation from you. She doesn't want you for a boyfriend. She wants you to desire her. Well said, Gerald. They want the attention and the desire. Men must go their own way. It is when a man discovers his life, keeps away the external validation, becomes truly free. It has nothing to do with hating anyone. Rising strength. Yeah, it's funny. Like people say, oh, these MGTOWs, they hate it. Really? I just choose to be happy in a way that I understand relationship dynamics and how to become happy. I understand government being red pilled by the government, being red pilled by society, narrative. And you choose. You choose to build a better life knowing these things. You're not going to keep spinning your wheels. The church is rank with feminism, effeminate males, thoughts, and single mothers. You're right. There's a lot of effeminate men. Brad, I told you on your live stream in December, we got married by justice of the peace and borrowed a wedding dress. My daughter would not do that. Lisa Smith for 300 Trebek. Good for you. Watch the video of Rad on MGTOW has no handbook. Good insight. It doesn't. I mean, I just continue to say, you are the captain of your plane. You get to fly it wherever you want. It's paid off. You get to invite whoever you want on the plane. You get to do whatever you want on the plane. If you want to invite a lovely lady and fly her for an hour, great. That is what a man going his own way decides. I'm going to travel today. Women are like cats. They come and go as they please. Only let you touch them when it suits them. They run if you chase them, scratch if you try to pick them up. I've heard that analogy multiple times, especially in a relationship. Let them come to you. Focusing to women is a waste of time. Chase your passions, says Patriotist 1. Well said, brother. There is no safe space for men. I could have on my MGTOW t-shirt. If feminazi see it, gets angry, then calls. Yeah. Calls and they tracks you down because you're not part of the program narrative. You're absolutely right, Jerome. Remove attention, receive attention. Yeah. That's what it comes down to, guys. And if you don't believe it, try it. Do you think a weak father does just as much damage as a father not being there? Yes. I think weak fathers are also part of the problem. Most weak fathers are scared to even discipline because they fear the repercussions of the mother or the wife. I wish MGTOW had a handbook. This freedom is overwhelming. Well, the handbook is this. Work on yourself, seek your own internal validation, and seek less is more theory. Less is more. That's it. Trump 2024. Big fan of the Trump. Happiness comes from solitude and sovereignty, not from material things provided to a female. No credit cards needed. Well said, Matt. True wealth is health and being out enjoying your health. That's really what it comes down to, whether that's physical, mental, emotional, spiritual health. And a lot of men are destroyed because of the mental and emotional health issues they have endured by being in bad relationships, having been divorced, giving a lot of attention to chasing women. Who is it? 5 Years of Freedom said he spent 400 something days without even being around a woman, and he reset himself. That's what you got to do. I've never met another woman to date that I felt was genuine. I got into MRA work in 2009 for that exact reason. Seeing how even women in my family behave was abhorrent, to say the least, says Samantha. Well, there's very few Samanthas, Lisas, Cessars, Victorias, Marcellas out there. Definitely appreciate your perspective, seriously. The birth rate is declined because of feminism, says Kenta. Well said, my man. We have a married friend and their wives are calling us, so I've changed my number. Coffee rock. Well, it happens. We did the JOTP and I handmade my dress using cloth from Goodwill. Well, you got married for the right reasons, not for the wrong reasons, which is attention and validation. Make women great again. I think women are wonderful. In the fantasy of my life, I'm attracted to beautiful women. I think women are complements to men, but I believe that the modern day landscape is extremely risky and most relationships are doomed. Simple as that. I wish I could say, hey guys, this is what you need to do to get a really high quality woman. But I think I would give you bad advice because I'm basically creating a version of a woman that potentially exists somewhere, 1 to 2%, but the majority don't. The CBF, before you know it, there will be a majority women judges. Oh yeah. The judge thing just drives me nuts. My ex yesterday, for the first time in 2 years at my grandson's birthday party, ghosted her and slipped out after 40 minutes to go to work. Was a great day, says Eddie. What'd she look like? My birth control is female. Once you pop a baby in her, she will then put the kid on child support. That kid is now a bill. Yep, it's risky, man. It is risky in today's environment. Behind every great man, there's a great woman behind him. But you have never heard behind a great woman, there's a great man. Isn't that strange? I've always wondered that myself, John. Sure. Go overseas, Southeast Asian women are feminine and beautiful. Well, I don't disagree. I think that there is an Asian cult. I think there are cultures that are a little bit slower in terms of adapting to westernized feminism, but it's on its way. And I would be careful. That's all. Wherever there's the internet, AR, there's female nature and male nature. When you seek happiness from the external, it'll never be enough. It has to come from within. Well said, Teddy boy. All relationships today are transactional. Sure seems like that. And I wish that men and women could come together and create and build, but it doesn't exist like it once did. And it's 98% of relationships are not recommended from RAD. You got me pregnant? No, you got yourself pregnant because I have authority, therefore I have zero responsibility. The female is the CEO of her dirty cooter and it carries most STDs. Yeah. The delusion that comes from having so many partners is destroying them physically, mentally, emotionally, and spiritually, and financially. It's not good. Hypergamy doesn't discriminate. No, it doesn't. Hypergamy don't care, honey badger. Feminism is one of the biggest hypocrite movement of all time. They call for the so-called equality, but in reality, their actions eliminate men. Feminism is a man-hating movement. Oh yeah, you're 100% right about that. Okay, that's probably better. Well, you're 100% right about that, Rising Strength. Southeast women see Western men as ATMs. Be careful unless you're a billionaire who can afford it, says Patriotist One. A lot of women see men as ATMs, that is damn sure. If you know the game, you can't lose, but don't get too involved. And well said, Teddy boy. If you know the game, you can navigate your life accordingly. All the way from Iraq, good to have you. I think that food over there in Iraq and Iran is delicious. I still shop at the thrift store. Good for you. I love going to the Goodwills. I like checking out their equipment, their sporting equipment and so forth. You can get some pretty good deals. I actually found a couple skateboards for cheap. $100 skateboards for like $5. Behind every modern woman today, there's a simp, not a great guy. All the great guys are gone. Correct? Lots of orbiters, Adele. Lots of orbiters out there. Don't matter where the female is. They are all hypergamous and don't care. Hypergamy does not discriminate, says Ghost MGTOW. Feminism wants to confuse people with their basic biology. Just crazy. We've lost our footing, that's for sure. Samantha, well, firstly, if I gave any advice to a man that's actually seeking a relationship, it would be to understand female nature. And secondly, set reasonable expectations of how you want to deal and what you won't deal with. Good. Well said. Russian women are very traditional. Being a single mom in Russia is unheard of because no man will simp for a single mom in Russia. I have heard that. Why Hollywood doesn't make movies regarding that we men are the true leaders of society universally. We are the real prize. Why are they misleading the world? Well, it's just a narrative. It's the woke. Hollywood's woke to the Skittles world and to the feminine world. Men like race car movies like Ford versus Ferrari. fight movies, war movies. Elon Musk says he's feeling lonely now, the richest man in the world. Well, why do yeah, it is what it is. You can't be like that and not feel lonely. Who's at the top with you? Nobody. Feminism is a dumb movement for females, just as the civil rights movement was dumb for blacks. All movements can be hijacked. Correcto mundo, Jerron. Rad, I have a new name for Peace Sleep. That isn't PC if you want me to share it with you. Well, I don't know. You can write it, but it depends. I don't want to get flagged. Putin is anti-woke and pro-masculinity. I was talking about that yesterday. Putin doesn't want the Skittles. He's seen the destruction that Skittles have brought to other countries. It's destroying everything. I get some of the most compliments from things I get there. I am just extremely frugal. I'll never grow out of it. Plus, it's like a fun challenge to see what I can get on the cheap. Oh, absolutely. There's always fun things you can find at those thrift shops. 19 days of vacation starting next week in Middle Tennessee. Attaboy. Camping and turkey hunting going my own way for $300. Trebek. Eddie A in Tennessee for $300. Patriotist 1, women don't care, men, because of hypergamy. Only women who can care for you unconditionally is your mother. Well said. Any female who gives advice to men, she will turn him into a better slave. And any male who listens to it is a weak beta. Correct. Why do the elites want men to be feminine and everyone to be blanking and blank? A transformer? It fits the narrative. We are already the majority of the population and vote at a higher percentage. Male judges that are currently in the courts have been voted in by ladies. They are pre-vetted, which is why the family court is the way it is. You're absolutely right. Absolutely right, Samantha. Feminism was always just a lesbian movement, but the lesbians succeeded in disguising it as being good for heterosexual women too. Let's just say it has not worked like they thought it would. Putin a puppet, not a threat. Yeah, I've been watching a little bit of USAWatchdog.com and Colonel Donald McGregor, who used to be a 4-star colonel, talking about the situation. Very interesting, their perspective. Putin is no idiot, guys. Most of the stuff we hear on the media is completely fake. I don't want you to get flagged either. I'll make a video. Perfect. Hey, there's Wes. Good to see Wes in the chat. Got some good stuff. 5 years of freedom. Good to have you, brother. Out probably closing a big deal today or yesterday. I'm here, Rad. You won't get flagged. All right, brother. Tired of being emotional tampon when I give attention to the other half not being in the top 20%. If you look at the fact, the whole women go for the top 10%. Well, that doesn't leave a lot. I mean, how many guys are over six foot? It's 14% of the worldwide population is over 6 foot. Most are probably taken. It's goofy. Don't bring them to the U.S. They learn from Western feminists really quick. 100%. Sponsor my ex from Iraq. 2 years of marriage. Took 3 years to divorce her in the California court system. Sorry to hear that. Feminism equals a brainwash machine. Well, it's the hive mind. That's all it is. It's basically told them they can have everything. They could be wives, career woman, single, you go girl, and it's lied to them. Why do they call he is? I'm embarrassed of the guy, really. Every time I see or hear his name, it's all cringe to me. Patriotist 1, the more you invest in women, the less she'll respect you. Absolutely. Less is more, even with women. BLM is a complete scam. 5 years of freedom says, I'm listening while I'm trying to sell a simp and straggle-daggle a house they will fight over in 5 years. Hey, take your commission. Simple as that. Sell them the dream, Wes. Sell them the dream. Elon Musk stays chasing the worst type of women, though. He could easily find a reasonable woman, but he dates women like Amber Heard and sleeps with other men's wives. You're right. He married that interesting rock star, right? Well said, Chris. You guys have to understand really what's going on over there and really why he wants that territory back. Females will always warm worm their way into men's spaces. We used to have video game Fridays when I was in college, and there was always at least one chick there looking to mess up shit. Well, I just think a lot of women like drama. It basically stretches their emotional brain. Remember, a woman, her operating system is emotional. Men are logical. So the more she can get turned from high emotional to low emotional, that's the drug. You will own nothing and be happy. Yep. Annoying. Coworker is a single mom to an 8-year-old, and now she is knocked up again. Ooh. Eddie A. Crazy. $10 jeans from the thrift store suit me just fine. When our boys were little, it was one of the few places to get their clothes cheaper because they grow fast. Oh, yeah, I remember my boys would grow out of stuff so quick. It's like, why are we spending $20 for a pair of Vans he wears for 2 days? Let's go get one for $1 at a garage sale. You should be preparing for the global enslavement. They're trying to make that happen, aren't they? Men need to learn how to shit test women like they do men. I'm becoming a pro. Good for you, brother. BLM is a scam. I don't support it because they don't like blacks, fathers, the nuclear family, and they're trained Marxists, says Jerron, and he should know. Feminists want equality, but I haven't seen any single woman work in the construction. Well, they didn't get on my roof and change it. Boomer dads still give very blue pill advice to their sons, like bring roses. Oh, yeah. They don't get it. Hey, with a name like Grimes, it has to be good. I heard, Andrew, good to have you, by the way. Grimes is dating that Chelsea Manning, the military guy that became a woman. Sell them to the house and leave a note about divorce and MGTOW in your closing package. There you go. I'm 100% behind Putin. Again, understand the history. Don't listen to the media, right? Inflation is just another scam run by the pedo elites to take our dollars. Yep. Scotty Side from Beaverton, Oregon is in the house. Good to have Scotty. The Great Reset, you owe nothing and be happy. Pay the womanist, globalist, woke system, AR. You know what? And that's why, men, let's think about this. That's why less is more. Have the ability to be mobile. Don't be saddled down with very expensive houses that you can't afford. I mean, at this point, I own a house, but I'm looking for mobility, being literally mobility. Maybe get a van, maybe have the freedom to go wherever I want if shit hits the fan. Scotty just finished up the quick stream. I'll have to rewatch his. In a thrift store, you don't need to worry about perfume samples. Damn right. MGTOW Outlaw in the house. Good to see you, Indie MGTOW. Back. Y'all streaming good. Men and women are both emotional and logical, but society encourages the more emotional in women, and it has ramifications that are not great, says Mysterio from Winnipeg. Good to have you, brother. You're absolutely right about that comment. Feminism would never have worked out without the females. 100% cooperation. They get whatever they get. They're miserable. Most of them turn into Karens. Slam Cave, planned economy crash. Absolutely. Absolutely. Eddie A, women love equality until they have to change the flat tire. They only like it until they can't or it doesn't suit them. Mysterio, I saw that, man. He's my age, 50 years old, man. Taylor Hawkins, huge musician. I'm game for van life any day, says Matt. Just mobility. I think mobility is freedom. Notes from the house I'm showing. This is a divorce sale. Sellers being forced to sell. As such, the house is not show ready. As would normally be in the case, they have 3 teenagers and a 2-year-old. Wow. I bet you're seeing that a lot, aren't you, Wes? Divorce, closing sales. Simp or pimp, you decide. Yep. AR says, got a van practicing nomad life off-grid in Arizona. There you go, brother. Jim McIntosh is back. Good to have you, Jim. Rad, the house that you own, did you pay for it all at once or do you make payments? Well, I got it at a great opportunity in time before the market went nuts. Karen ruined America. As far as that question, Jerron, I believe I do not run debt. No sympathy for Brittany Greener. She got exactly what she deserved for bringing hash into Russia. I wonder how much she hates her American heritage now, says Lisa. You're right. She needs to go through the court system. She needs to go through their court system and deal with it. She broke the law. Men who are supporting these extreme feminists has no idea, unfortunately, that they are working against their own selves. You're absolutely right, man. They're dying by the sword. The same sword that they're using to protect the feminist ideology is the same sword they're going to fall on. Soccer players still kneeling for the BLM in UK. Funny enough, it's only some black players that have decided not to kneel because they know it's crap. Well, listen to Jerron. I mean, it's a scam. A lot of these BLM took the money and ran. I got to get my bag and run. I'm all about being mobile, and hopefully we'll be getting out of New York. No liberal-run states. Yeah, any guys, just get to red states. Wokeism has destroyed those states. 100%, I can find a full Banana Republic suit for around $7.50 at my local shop. Bought a gently used heavy-duty North Face for $30. One place allows you to fill a garbage bag for $5. Ooh, dang. You could probably make a business selling stuff online from what you can get there. The men's movement is starting to have more awareness now than ever. I see marriages being way slowed down for men to propose than in the past. It's just not working anymore, right? The secret's out. Prince Gasket. Any man that splits a mortgage with a woman is a fool today. Ah, well said, brother. Where are you from, Prince Gasket? When Russia is pointing out the real blanks in the world, it just happens to be the side backed by the liberal Western. It really opens your eyes. A lot of fake news out there, guys. Don't believe the hype. Go listen to people that really understand the situation, and you'll understand why he's doing what he's doing. Matthew says, had a childhood friend reach out asking for some money. I told her, nope. Well said, brother. I lived with a gal that was, she lived in the apartments, and our kids were the same age. We still keep in touch today. Total 304. I mean, completely class. Nice gal, though. She had asked me when I first moved in for a $30,000 loan. And I said, nope. $30,000 loan. She was just some neighbor of mine. Oh, I'm getting, she was a mortgage gal. I'm getting some closings and I'll pay you in 2 weeks. Yeah, right. These unfortunate men think that they would get these gals if they support their ideas. Delusional. Yeah. That is a scam too, Rising Strength. Rad, a lot of guys, they're under this consumption. If I got good credit, then I can go and get what I want and my status is raised. Nope, you just made yourself a slave. Debt is slavery. Well said, brother. That's why less is more, folks. Rad, would you go street luging with me if I came out? Sure, bring your board. Used to do it in college. At midnight, we'd go do the temple runs. It's just hard to go wrong at the thrift store, huh? You can get good deals. Ed Hutch back. Good to see you, Ed. Hope you're doing well, brother. Oh, Prince Gasket, formerly Gare. There you go, brother. Hope you're doing well. Thanks for sending me those emails. Irish for 300 Trebek. Open a can of Guinness for me. What's your routine on Sundays? I just try to keep it real. I was going to go to lunch with my boys, but apparently they have another event with their mother and grandmother. And I just hang out, maybe do a little walk, chill, catch up. Sometimes I vacuum. MGTOW is 54 card deck, and they all read no. Yep. That's insane, Rad. Thanks for sharing. 30 grand, man. Can you believe that? U.S. woke cult, cancel feminist, transgender, blank will stand for patriarchal Russian army. Russians are not wimpy people. Let's be real. They've gone through a shitstorm in the last 100 years. Coffee Rock says, I hope blank doesn't invade Taiwan. I agree. Rad, I just saw you went live. How are you? John, doing well. Good to have the legend from Boston in the house. Keep us apprised on the friend marrying the two-ton Tessie. Coke or Pepsi? I'm going to go with Pepsi. Pedro Valentine is in the house. Good to have you, brother. BLM was there to only leverage money off of stupid liberal whites. They now have a lawsuit tracking where all the donations gone. Oh, yeah, she got a $2.5 million house. What? Hey, now I changed my own flat tires, not paying or waiting. 45 minutes for someone to save me. Clean my K&N filter and everything. 75% of millennials can't even change a tire at all. My boys didn't even know how to change a tire. I had to teach them. Go get the crowbar. What's that, Dad? You know, the tire iron? What's that? Rad gave her a CGA. Nope. I sure did, brother. Anyone who would get married in 2022 also believes the media. They believe the hive mind. Slam. Prince Ghost, Rad, I was once foolishly lent a girl I was seeing 100 euros. She didn't pay you back. Oh my gosh. That is unheard of. I walked this morning, had a great walk too, says Mita Outlaw. Good for you, brother. Walking for an hour a day is so good for your health. Just a slow walk. R.I.P. Taylor Hawkins. Yeah. Sad, man. Who should we fear the most? Russia, China, North Korea, or Iran? China. China. 100%. Is there a day that you unplugged from tech internet for kicks? When I'm out riding my bike, yesterday I went up to the hot pot, so I didn't have service for like 4 hours. That felt good. That felt good. Let's see, Samantha. Most females in here, y'all say something. Y'all can say something that's not true, or else you wouldn't be here in a mail chat. Well, there's a lot. There are some gals that have kind of jumped on, but for the most part, the gals that come in these chats, Dax chat, Scotty Sides, all the chats out there, I think they're legit. They wouldn't be here after 2 years. Just Pepsi and Coke are both woke. You're right, man. They're all woke. Apple. Timmy Kramer back, the forever bachelor. See Timmy. All corporate products are woke. Rad, the 300-pound bride-to-be, her Hyundai Accent is in the driveway and she's going to break Simp Boy's springs on his car. You're going to have to lift that car up to keep that weight intact. In life, there's always a pilot, co-pilot. That has to be that way or nothing will get done. You're right. And I'm the pilot. The wall is well and truly smashed over on Tinder. Tinder has turned into a joke. It was a joke 3 years ago. When I first used it, when I first moved out, I actually had significant success, but it became a shit show 6-7 years ago. Dad going from 60 yesterday back to 30 tomorrow. We got 72 today, and I think it's supposed to drop to like 48 to 50, which is spring weather, but we've had a nice little sun spell. We have weak leadership, AR. You're absolutely right, brother. The Foo Fighters have suffered a great loss of a drummer named Taylor Hawkins. Monkey Wrench is the best. It's very sad what has happened. Apparently, he had some chemicals in his situation. I don't know the extent of it, but we lost a great musician for sure. Home Depot recently towed the woke line with Nike and others. Well, I grew up in Beaverton, Oregon. You can ask Scotty, but Nike is full of woke Skittles, and I'll say it again, woke Skittles. Most of the guys that I knew working there, strong white Christian males, were all let go a couple years ago. Huge exodus, huge layoff. And it's full of Skittles, feminists, and woke people. Not a lot of men there, strong men, if you know what I mean. I still would pass it to them, Rad. I'm based and proud. There you go, brother. What's the make of your white watch again? It is a Casio G-Shock. It's been with me in 6 countries or 5 countries. And I love it. $80 on Amazon. Most gals on Tinder have their Instagram in the bio. A lot of them say, snap me. It's not worth it, guys. Your average woman watching this would have a mental breakdown. What? Big M, are you serious? You're right. Harsh shit, Sand here. What are your views on Tom Likas? I liked Likas in the day. He's now woke. He's really liberal now. You got me off Tinder, Rad. Never go back. Good for you. Work on yourself, Mysterio, right? F the home Schleepo. There are still lows in Menard, says Jim. You're right. I started boycotting Nike 10 years ago. Total Skittles crowd. Full of it. A lot of women with short haircuts, if you know what I mean. That's why I go to Lowe's. They support veterans, says Eddie. Good. I didn't know that. Is there a problem with Amazon? A friend stated that she does not like their service. I think Amazon's woke too, right, Mysterio? It's really not that difficult. It's 5 bolts, loosen the lugs, jack up the vehicle, remove nuts and tires, put on a donut, go the star pattern, lower than fully tighten. There you go. Easy. I think it scares people, though. They can't do it. They can't do that. It's illegal. Well, they're doing it. John Markel, I hear you. Samantha P says, not rocket science. You sure have an axe to grind. They says, I'm not following that. Give her one piece of the cake. Next time she wants 2 pieces. Feminism has broken many home by brainwashing many good women. You're right. Unfortunately, the number of women who aren't feminists is reducing. Yeah, I wonder the women that were feminists or believed it are now coming back if they're truly thinking that's the case. Lisa likes the local hardware store, the Ace Hardware that's individually owned. Gal from work engaged, and she's on Tinder. What a quality gal. You're right. You're right. 11 Zanderman, I turned 60 a few weeks ago. Happy birthday, brother. I've tried every angle with women. Bottom line, there's no way to win long-term with a woman. Guys, is coming from a guy that just turned 60. Modern day relationships are doomed. Majority of them, 98% of them. Even sports organizations are woke beyond redemption. Yeah, I quit watching. I'm tired of the sports scene. Look up, Matt, I'm so sick of it. Look up all the product brands and what they believe make, and you'll realize you can't get away from buying woke products in the stores. Well, that's interesting. You say it, MGTOW out loud. You're absolutely right. I was in the Vans store yesterday. They have a collection of Vans sneakers and clothes called Pride, and it's all Skittles. Vans. The narrative is huge. Programming is out of control. Online dating apps are a waste of time for most men. You're absolutely right. You guys have been great in this chat. I'm going to turn it off here in a minute. Got some stuff to do. A local hardware store where everybody knows your name. You're absolutely right. Now that bullets are flying, they drop the feminist stuff. Yeah. Where are the feminists going over to help whatever, the cause, right? Back in my blue pill days, I used to think that feminism is women empowering, and they perhaps are doing a good job, but that was until I saw their hidden agenda. Well said. Okie in the house. I keep my eyes focused on the prize, which is my own way and not her way, following my path throughout the journey. Well said. Well said, Okie. Are all women these days narcissists? A high majority are, my friend. Stay single, no babies, no marriage, no cohab. 5 years of freedom. Today's women lead with sex, so I let them lead for around 3 hours, smash, and then ghost. Get prepared, 8% inflation, actually 25%, and rising higher food and gas prices. Rent and divorce system will throw you in the road. Yet that is why less is more. Try to be mobile. I wouldn't be buying any houses at this point that you can't afford, and start preparing emotionally, mentally, physically, and spiritually. Start working on your health. It doesn't matter if you have crappy health. If you have crappy health, health has got to be your number one. Physical and mental and emotional health. And these channels talk about how to improve men's health while navigating the red pill. Once you're strong enough, then we work on the physical, we work on the spiritual, we work on chasing the excellence, right? Might as well be. Empire of Lies. Yeah, well, I cringe at who is leading our world now. Buy her a Toyota next time she demands a Lamborghini. Toyotas are much more reliable than Lamborghinis, that's for sure. That's what I drive. Thank you, Pedro. FJT in the house. Shout out to him. Good to have everybody. A Toyota is too much. A $500 beater will do. I love the Toyota because it's the best built vehicle in the world. And I don't have to deal with it. And I can drive it for $400,000 or $500,000 and keep driving it as long as I maintain it, right? You guys have been great. Remember, chase excellence, masculinity, men first.